Hey Lan, hi folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I use he and pronouns. In this video, I just wanted to re-explore the whole dating world and themes I've picked up through my own lived experiences and reflections on my own experiences, and just talk about the whole dating world and experience and how it's complicated and it's like a giant game. So I've sectioned this video out into under 5 different sub-themes, if you will. And the first theme I want to explore is loneliness. So from my experience, I've only dated through online dating, as in I've met my dates and my ex through the online space and like online dating apps. So I've never had experience with dating in person, like going on a speed dates, for example, face-to-face events that are specifically for dating, or meeting someone through like a group, or meeting someone through a mutual friend, or etc. I've only had experience with online dating, and a very, very common theme I see in the online dating space is that people are lonely, and that me included. Scrolling through, just saying, I crave this thing, I'm lonely, anyone want to talk, anyone want to meet up. And something I find very interesting is that if there are so many of us, this is just like exploratory question, right? If there are so many of us that are lonely on the online dating platforms, why is it so hard for us to connect with each other? Like, I've messaged quite a few people, like when I was on my dating endeavors, if you will, and I was ghosted. People say they're interested in something, or they want to meet up, for example, and then I message them, or they say they want to get to know people, and then I message them and I never hear a response. It's happened more than once. I find it really interesting, like how, yeah, a lot of us are lonely, yet it's so hard to connect with each other. And when people, like in my experience, when I do reach out and start convo in response to people's posts, I don't get a response back. And I find this whole experience and these, what I've been observing, very, very interesting. And I'd say this goes for like the LGBT space and the non-LGBT space too. Like, so many of us on online dating apps, like realistically, if it was an ideal world, many of us would just match up and, work out and get off the app, or not need to go back on the app. But there are like so many of us on here. When I was starting out dating, I dated because, or I wanted to date and have a partner because I had this void inside of me. And that made my first day experience really, really unhealthy, because I was overly attached to this person. It was like my life is, how do I explain this? There is no me without you, in a sense. It's like no me without you. Overly dependent. It was just like I was constantly messaging this person. I could not go even for a few hours alone without messaging this person and checking for their responses and stuff. And when we broke it off, the dating, it left this really huge hole in my soul, and I lost myself because I was so overly attached to this person and essentially dependent on this person for my happiness, dependent on this person to function, because I had made this person my entire world, and it didn't work out. And then my world essentially was gone in a very cliche kind of way. But that's exactly what happened. And essentially, I was dating to fill a void in myself. And the void was, I don't know how to be alone, and I feel uncomfortable being alone. Therefore, I need someone to fill that space. I realized that's not how dating and relationships would be, and that's not a healthy way to date someone. And Another theory might be we all want the same thing, right? We all want to be with someone. We all want to be happy and feel loved and feel belonged and feel valued and be in a partnership with someone, whether romantic, sexual, whatever it might be. We all want the same thing, and makes a lot of sense because it's all very innate human needs, like feeling belonged, feeling loved, feeling connected, etc. The sense I get though from this could just be like my own trauma and past experiences with dating. But from my experiences, people don't want to put in work. People don't want to put in the work to make that happen. Like very fulfilling relationships don't happen like this. It takes work, it takes building, it takes two people building the relationship in partnership. It involves the individual people in the relationship to work on themselves. And it's two independent people in a partnership, not half of someone and half of someone in a relationship. That's what I've noticed is people don't want to put in the work and people aren't willing to fight for it. It's just like, I want this, but I'm not willing to fight for it. And put in the work, put in the effort, work on myself, etc. And I think that's why, this is my theory, that's why there's so many of us online who are lonely and want dates and relationship, yet it's so hard for us to connect. I will get into compatibility later, and that's definitely another part of it, but I do think definitely one part of it is the lack of will to fight and put in work and build self-awareness and grow as a person. Second theme of this dating game is that there is no rule book. So when I started dating, no one gave me a rule book being like, this is how you do things. This is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. This is what you do. And there's no rule book. There's no one size fits all rule book. There is definitely like advice online. There are people who make YouTube videos, or there's people who create resources and mentor and whatnot. But it's very hard to do a one size fits all. Every single person you meet, every single situation that you can possibly be in with dating, there's no rule book. There's no rule for this. And the way I've learned is to start dating people, get into relationships, fuck up, not notice red flags, fuck up again, fuck up multiple times, to reach this point and then realize this is a theme, this is a cycle, this isn't working for me, and I don't want to do this anymore. Therefore, I'm stopping the trauma cycle. That's how I've learned, because, I mean, especially for me, being an autistic guy, rules are important for me. Like, sometimes I don't know how to, it's hard for me to pick up on cues. It's hard for me to navigate the world if things aren't told to me directly, and there's just ambiguity and uncertainty. I think a lot of people struggle with uncertainty, not just autistic people. I don't think any of us likes uncertainty, but for me, it's extra challenging, I find, because there's no one telling me directly X, Y, and Z, and I just have to fumble through things and figure out that way. Yeah. So yeah, fear of the unknown, fear of, fuck, like, I don't know what I'm doing, which I think is everyone when they start dating, or a lot of us. Like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. I want this. I don't know how to approach this. How do you talk to people? How do you date someone? What does that mean? What does that look like? What do I do? All very valid and natural feelings to experience, especially when humans, we're very complicated. Humans are complicated. Like, we have our own baggage, we have our own traumas, we have our own values, beliefs, goals. The way we were, like, our childhood, adult circumstances are all very different. We grow up differently, different a social economic status, different cultures, different ways of being raised. Some people may not even have people that they look up to, and people that sort of raised them and they had to raise themselves. There's so many different things, right? And it makes humans so complicated. And that's another part of why this whole dating game is so hard, because humans are complicated to navigate, and I am not excluded from this at all. Another note on the rules I just remembered is that I'm gay, right? I'm gay. And I'm trans and I'm gay. So I really don't fit into the cis heterosexual like normality of things based on my own existence. And there's like the idea when like in straight relationships that the guy has to pay for the girl, the guy makes the first move, etc., etc. Like all of these rules, firstly, confuse me, and secondly, are completely voided for me because I'm gay. Yeah, and I don't say I was straight. I still find it really weird, like the way that like, this is like I'm assuming goes back a long time. It's like tradition that the guy, you know, pays for the girl and does these things. But I think it should be a reciprocal thing regardless of gender. Like it's not one person should have the pressure to instigate conversation. One person shouldn't have the carry the pressure to like instigate convos and set up dates and pay for everything and hold the door and open the door and all of this stuff. Just do it to each other, do it for each other, not just one gender doing it for the other gender in a straight relationship. Like, it's just confusing. It's just really confusing. The third theme I want to explore is the emotional rush, the infatuation, if you will, the infatuation. It's happened to me every single time. Like whenever I meet someone new, and then we start like going on dates, I get very excited. I feel the rush, being like, oh my God, I love this feeling of like connecting with, I don't even know, maybe it's connecting with someone on a different level than, I don't know if it's an emotional connection. Maybe it's a physiological connection. I don't know what it is. But it's in reality, it is infatuation. There's the experience for me, the experience of rose-colored glasses. Oh my God, this person is so awesome. We get along, we have things in common. I feel comfortable around this person. I feel safe around this person. Rose-colored glasses. I don't even know the other side. I don't know everything about them. Basically, I barely know this person, essentially. Literally, in reality, I barely know this person. Only went out once, twice, few times. And then I'm already like, oh my God, this person is like from barely knowing them, which I find, this is again, very natural human things, but it's also very complicated at the same time. It's like, I barely know this person. Why do I like see them as, why do I feel so close to them? Why do I think that I've known them for a long period of time, even though I will only know them for a few weeks? And in reality, I don't know this person. In reality, I don't really know this person. And I think I know this person because of the rush, the emotional infatuation, the rose-colored glasses, that everything is great and there's nothing wrong. And even though things are wrong, it's probably very muted because of the rush of, I don't know what it's called, the rush that I get from being like, I like you. Even though it's not good to always follow this rush and the feeling of like. With my ex, I've only knew them for a month and a half before I got into an official relationship with them. And before that experience, I did not consider compatibility or any of these other very important real life things in a partner. It was more, I met them through an event. I connected with them. I liked them. They liked me. We got along well. We had things in common, and I got into a relationship. And it's like, I'm in a relationship with you, yet this is in hindsight, right? I didn't know this at the time. I didn't think about this at the time. This is now reflections, FYI. It's like, I barely know you. I just know we have things in common. We can vibe and connect and have fun. Have fun. When I say have fun, I don't mean in a sexual way. I mean have fun as in hang out, go to the cinema, etc. And that's literally all I had to go off. And then I entered a relationship with this person. Why? Because of the rush of what I just explained before, of like, I like you, rush, rose-colored glasses. And the other part of this is I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't have standards. I wasn't picky enough. I made a lot of mistakes. And this is why I mean links to the second theme with no rule book is I fucked up, I fumbled, and then from there I established my own standards and rules and sort of guidelines that work for me based on the fucked up experiences I had, essentially. I built my own guidebook based on fuckery that happened, essentially. The fourth theme I had in this video, my mic wasn't growing audio. I recorded like 2.5 minutes of footage, and then the audio went weird again, and then I lost it. So I sometimes get really annoyed with the audio doing that because I say it well and then I have to say it again, and then I don't say it as well as I say it the first time. Therefore, sometimes I'm just like, yeah. So compatibility. The fourth theme is compatibility and reality hits. So with my ex and past relationship dating experiences, I didn't consider compatibility. It was something that never crossed my mind. The only thing that crossed my mind is I like this person, we get along well, therefore we should date. Like I basically had no standards. I was not picky, and I dated and got into a relationship with someone who was incompatible with me. And I didn't know that at the time because I didn't think about it. I didn't realize it was something that is important to consider. It's like I discovered an unwritten rule. Or maybe it is written, I didn't know. But I discovered it like a guideline that is really important, that two people or people in a relationship have to be compatible. What do I mean by compatibility? For me, it means compatibility in values, having a direction and goals in life, whether people work on themselves and, is personal growth important for this person? Do people take accountability? Or are they just stagnant and constantly blame the world and other people for everything? Where are they at in life? What they're doing with their life? Those are a few examples. I can't think of any more from the top of my head. But just important things like life, values, personality, willingness to work on self, like all of this is important to consider in dating and relationships for me. Because with my ex we was incredibly incompatible. One example is I wanted to talk about issues. and confront things and just not keep running away from it and blaming things, whereas they were in denial and blamed other people and blamed the world for things and refused to take accountability, and therefore nothing changed. I wanted to make change. I wanted to work on things and be proactive, whereas my ex was unwilling to. And this was one major incompatibility, and it just led to constant resentment and frustration because nothing changes because they're not willing to work and fight with me through conflicts and disagreements. I recently had dating experiences after March, April. I went on a few dates with someone and I fell into the whole rush trap again. I fell into it again. It happens. I fell into it. It's I like you, you like me. Rose-colored glasses once again. I will get to the ending of this. It's a very different ending. Rose-colored glasses again. Went on a few dates. We had some things that were... There was one thing that was flagged in my head, being there's a red flag, but I sort of ignored it because, it was in the back of my mind, but I didn't take it as seriously as I ideally would have, right? If this experience happened again, I would I would treat it in a very different way. So I flagged that in my head, but I'm like, cool, let's keep going. That's weird, but I'll bypass it type thing. And then there was a disagreement, which is something that's really stupid and shouldn't actually have been a problem in the first place. Actually, I'll just tell you. He got annoyed at me for going to watch a horror movie myself. A horror movie that we didn't plan, we didn't discuss watching together, we didn't plan watching together. And he got annoyed at me for going to watch that movie myself, even though we didn't discuss it and we didn't plan watching it together. And I found that really stupid and annoying and very unfair. And it's another thing the thing about that really told me that this isn't going to work is I had to justify. I shouldn't even have to defend myself in this situation. But I did. And even then, I was being told that I wasn't considerate of his needs and feelings. And I'm like, what now? And I tried to be proactive, right? I was like, okay, moving forward, what do you need from me? And then there was the talking less about stressful things and also, I don't know. It's basically, I don't know, besides... Let's talk about stressful things less. And I'm like, from that point on, I'm like, I knew this was not going to work. I knew we were going to be incompatible. And I basically terminated right there. Not immediately, but I gave a few days and I'm like, I made a video, sent it to him being this isn't going to work. I knew because I already started feeling resentment from just one thing. And it shows that fights are quite valuable, conflicts and fights are quite valuable in sort of seeing how a person responds and sussing the person out essentially, because we can see how they respond. We can see whether they're willing to work through it, what they sort of do with it. Do they blame people? Do they deny it? Do they sweep it under the rug? It's very, very valuable information. And had that not happened, I wouldn't have known this about the person and the multitude of red flags that have arisen as a result of it. So actually, I was missing a little ending to that story. Before I terminated is I tried to compromise. This is us dating. It was dating to get to know each other, to see if we're compatible for a relationship. This isn't I'm in a relationship with this person, just to let you know. To me, it's very different. Just dating someone and being in a relationship with someone are two very different levels. So this was just dating. I tried to compromise by asking him to watch a different horror movie. He agreed. I booked tickets and then he bailed on me a few hours later. Like the same day. Like I asked him that morning. He said yes. I booked tickets and he bailed on me like a few hours before the movie. And I'm like, what now? And I got really annoyed. And I'm like, this is like some mind fuckery here that I'm not willing to keep playing along with. And then from there, I knew, I already like I knew. Not great vibes. Like, that's not nice. That's not nice. It's not nice. The reason is because he was busy that day. I don't know, in my head, I would know whether I'm busy that day or not, and not accept an invite from someone I'm dating and then bail on them a few hours later. Essentially, the ending to that whole little month and a half of very casual dating is I ended the trauma cycle. So I realized that this isn't healthy for me. This type of relationships aren't healthy for me. I am seeing themes and a sea of red flags from all over. And a lot of the actions and say the way the communication wise reminded me of my ex. And I knew that was not a very good path to go down. And it's not a path I'm willing to go down again. So that's what I learned from that. And it's very valuable information. It's like every time it doesn't work out, I'm not even mad about it. I learn a lot. I gain more knowledge. I sort of build my repertoire of what I'm looking for in a partner and things to sort of literally like some guideline criteria to compare against and whether it would work for me personally. I get a lot out of it. It's like if I didn't have this experience, I wouldn't have gained the info that I have now, and I would still be in the same place as I was after I dated my ex. So these experiences are good. It's not a bad thing. Okay, so the last theme of this video is we need time. We need time to suss out a person. And it's like, it's not just me doing it to potential dates. It's other people doing it to me too. Like sussing out people, seeing how it works over time. Because in my experience, the whole rush and infatuation usually dies down within 2 to 3 months. And then from there, reality hits, things slow down. Because what I noticed when I start off, right, is we talk a lot, we want to hang out with each other, we want to spend a lot of time around each other. And as time goes on and reality starts knocking on the door, hello, reality is here, things just slow down and get more quiet. And the initial rush and infatuation subsides. And then reality hits. The rose-colored glasses may start coming off, and then we start seeing things that we might have not seen before during our initial infatuation phase. And what I'm going to do moving forward is slow down a lot more than I did before. Like, so when it's okay to have feelings of like a crush, it's okay to have feelings towards another person and like them and the attraction. That's all very human and that's completely okay. It's not something we should punish ourselves for, including me. This is including me, all of us. we shouldn't punish ourselves for having feelings towards someone and liking someone and desiring relationships and dating, because that's all very innate and very human. It's very human and innate and something most of us want. I'm not saying every single person on the planet Earth, but it's something a lot of us want. And it's okay to feel this way. It's just sort of being cautious about where we tread and how fast we tread with the person we just met, essentially. Because something I want to tell myself, it's that sort of making the norm, is that liking someone, being attracted to someone doesn't void reality. It doesn't void reality. It doesn't change reality. I could be in La La Land all I want, right? But it doesn't change reality. It doesn't. Something I need to tell myself, and that will help me slow down. Because say in future I feel towards someone, be like, okay, you're feeling feelings. You have feelings towards this person. You feel attracted towards this person, right? And I'm like, it's okay, you can feel this, it's okay, but don't action anything too quickly. Don't jump to things too quickly. You can just, bathe in these feelings if you want, but don't jump into things too quickly. Take your time to really get to know this person, suss them out, give it time. The other thing is, say if we end up being a relationship with someone, right? Well, for me, I'm monogamous, so I would want to be together with this person long term. If taking time initially, say 6 months, a year, to get to know them well and really feel comfortable and not rush things for the sake of getting into a relationship, not rushing things, being like, okay, tick, 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 oh, we dated. I mean, we're good now, we're good with dating, let's get into a relationship. If I'm being with someone long term, 1 year in the grand scheme of things is really not a long time. Think about it, like if I end up being with someone for 40 years, right? 1 year, the initial 1 year of slowing down, taking it slow, it's not that big in the grand scheme of things. It will actually go by pretty quickly. So yeah, slowing down, seeing if it works, how do people behave in the partnership, the connection, gathering information, essentially gathering information and assessing whether it actually suits me, and is it realistic for me? Is it compatible for me? Is this something I really want? That's all the little points. That's not little. Video's probably going to be long already. That's all I had for this video, and it's just something I'm trying out. Is sort of, if I have a lot of thoughts and different ideas for a video, for a topic for a video, is to sort of group them into themes, and then that helps me stay on topic and sort of link themes together. It's a little concept I'm trying. I think I'll keep trying this with videos that suit, as in theme wise. I might try this approach for other videos. I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your continued support, and I will see you in the next video.